Welcome to the Vision Perfect training video for League Play. League Play requires participants in the league to be part of the database for Viper. So before you can actually create a league, you need to add your league members to the Viper database. If you're interfacing with the GIN handicap system, then your members will already be in the database, but if you're not, then you will need to add the members to the database first. So from the Help menu, Players, Player Database Maintenance screen, you can add players manually, one at a time, or you can import them from an Excel spreadsheet. If the players do not have a GIN number, valid GIN number, then you will be required to enter a unique player or member number for each player, and the member number must be unique for each player. If you're manually entering players, then each player must first have a unique email address to identify the player uniquely in the Viper database. So after entering a email address, then you can enter the first name, last name, handicap, index, and member number if need be. The easiest way to get members into the database if you're not using the GIN handicap system and GIN interface is to import them from an Excel spreadsheet. You'll be notified that you must have a unique member number for each player. After answering that, you can just choose a file, select your file to be imported, and it'll open up a utility that will allow you to identify what the fields are. So here, first column is a member number, first name, last name, and so on. And then you can import the players, and they'll all be imported at once into the database. So once your players exist in the Viper database, you can then use the Player League Management option to create a new league. Pressing the button will open a utility to allow you to create a new league. Any existing leagues which have not been closed yet will appear in the list. Pressing the plus button will allow you to create a new league. Viper currently supports 3 different types of league formats: a stroke play league, where place awards, first place, second place, etc., are awarded points and accumulated over the period of the league. Match play, where you can have either individual or team matches accumulating points for holes won or matches won, and Stableford points, so either of the 3 options can be selected. So if you're setting up a stroke play league event, then you can enter the points that will be awarded for first place, second place, third place, either gross, net, or both gross and net, depending on how the league scoring will be formatted. Match play formats are set up choosing either a point to win, or half a point for tie, or 2 points to win, 1 point for a tie, and if any points are awarded for winning the match, you would select that. And if it's a Stableford point league, then you enter the points earned for bogeys, pars, birdies, eagles, etc. And these point settings will be specific to this league only. They're different from the Stableford point settings, the default Stableford settings in the application. So any points to be used for the league need to be set up here. So for this video, we're just going to set up a match play league. So we're just going to call this the Wednesday Men's League Matches. We'll set the number of rounds to be 10. You can have up to 99 rounds. Are the matches individual or 2-person? We're going to set it up for individual matches. And we'll set it to a point to win, half a point to tie, no points for the match. And we're going to be using 9-hole rounds for the league play. So once you've set up the league scoring parameters, save your changes, and you'll be taken back to the league management screen, where you can then select your league. So once we select the league, then a screen will come up to allow you to add players to the league. So all of our database players have been will show in a list on the left side of the screen, as many as you have in there, and just using the arrow key will move the player into the league. So if we just click on the arrow key to add players, the X would take a player back out of the league, move him back into the database side. You must add all of the players that will be in the league from this event league management screen before you can close the league. because once you close the league, you can no longer add or remove players. You'll be able to insert substitute players if somebody's unable to play on a particular week, but you will not be able to add new league players. So you must select all of your league players when setting up the initial league. And bear in mind that match play events need to be paired up, individuals, 1 versus 1, so it's got to be multiples of 2 in order to close the league. And if it's a 2 versus 2 matches, then it needs to be multiples of 4 in order to close the league. So we've got 24 players in this league. We're going to go ahead and close the league. So if we select close the league, you'll be prompted, are you sure you want to close the league? Because you're not going to be able to add players to it again after you answer this prompt. We'll say yes, and we'll go ahead and close it. You'll then be asked whether you want the computer to generate your pairings for all of the rounds, or whether you just want to, you can drag and drop to create your own pairings, and the league will just be set up in team order for each round. We're going to let the computer generate the pairings for us. You can change those if you want also, but the computer will try to make sure that no 2 players are matched against each other more than once. So we'll say OK to that. And it will take us to a screen where we can now set up each round. So we've got all 10 rounds here that we can go in and choose whether we're going to do a time start, shotgun start, however, which course, which front 9, back 9 is going to be played, because this happens to be a 9-hole league. So you need to go through each round, give a round a name. So this is week 1, or whatever you want to call the round, and type of start. Do a shotgun start at 5 p.m. And what date is it? This is going to be a Wednesday league, going to start on the 9th of January. For round 1, going to be using the front 9 for the first week. Then go on to the second week, call it week 2, or whatever you want to call it. It's also going to be a time start, 5 p.m. And it'll remember the date that the first round was set for, so we're going to set this for a week later. And we're going to choose the back 9 course instead of the front 9 for this round. Select the tee that will be played, and continue this process to set up each week of, in this case, 10 rounds. So after we have set up all of the rounds for the event, for start type, course being played, we select finish, and the rounds will then get set up with the pairings for each round, because in this case we've selected to let the computer do the pairing. So it will do all of that work and take you to the League player grid, where you have a round selector at the top that you can select any round to see the pairings that have been created. You can use the across grid for each round if you need to change the pairings, to just drag and drop and make whatever changes that you want. And if you need to make any changes to the start, setup, or tee selection, you can just go back to the setup screen, select that round, whichever round it is, and make whatever changes that you need to make, and click finish again, and it will update the grid for that particular round. Once you've created leagues, then the League Play menu item, main League Play menu item, will take you to a list of all of the leagues that have been set up, and you can open any of them at any time. And if the league has not been closed yet, it'll actually just take you back to the league management screen, where you can then continue the process of adding players. If a league has been closed, then selecting it from the list will actually take you to the rounds, the League Play grid, and the rounds, where you can go in and pick any round to manage it, make changes, whatever you need to do. You do have full handicap management capabilities for League Play, so from the handicap adjustment screen you can enter any kind of an adjustment that needs to be made, whether it's an individual player adjustment or a team adjustment, but in most cases this is just going to be an individual adjustment for any League Play event. But here in this case we're going to select that they're going to play to 85% of their handicaps, and we are going to round it to a whole number, so we'll save that adjustment. We can then go back and calculate handicaps, and we'll have the option to just calculate them for the current round or for all rounds, and we'll just go ahead and calculate handicaps for all rounds in this case. Once all of the league rounds are set up, then you do have the ability to print any reports for the league by round. So whether you're printing scorecards, card signs, whatever, all of the reports in Viper are available to you in League Play. With also, whether you're going to pop the cards, highlight starting holes or whatever, any scorecard descriptors, all these are available to you. And just selecting the report will then open the report for whichever round you select. And like I said, all reports are available to you. Once a round is over, from the score entry screen, you will be able to go in and enter the scores for each player. In this case, we're individual matches, so the application will compute the individual points won for each match. And once all of the rounds or matches are scored for a particular round, then you can print reports for individual rounds, and you can print reports for the league for wherever the current standings are. So after week 5, for example, the league report would generate all points that have been won up until that point in time. So for this league, we've currently scored 2 rounds, and if we go to the scores reports, you can actually run the gross or net scores reports for every round, sorted however you want to sort it. And again, it'll ask you for which round you want to print, and you'll get a standard scores report. Then you also have the ability to print the league reports, whether you're printing points for a particular round. So we're going to take a look at the point totals for round 1, and then also you have the option to print the league report, which would be the point totals for all rounds to date. So that is the training video for League Play. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us at 888-643-1306. Thanks for watching.